Some people are really fucking stupid. Did you ever notice that? How many really stupid people you run into during the day? God damn, there's a lot of stupid bastards walking around. Carry a little pen and pencil with you. You wind up with 30 or 40 names by the end of the day.
Adjectives on the typewriter. He moves his words like a prize fighter. The frenzied pace of
Look at it this way. Think of how stupid the average person is, and then realize half of them are stupider than that.
Outside the world, out there you don't.
This guy is fucking stupid.
Tight jaw, say it out. Say it out.
I don't give a shit if I'm not supposed to say it. I'm gonna fucking say it.
Say it out, 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 say somebody.
Welcome to
You got to say it out.
He says, now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Welcome to Useless Agent.
All right, it's a lot of cooking. How's it going, guys? Yep, today's the 24th. It's lazy Sunday, so yeah, it's another day. I'm fucking exhausted. I don't know why I can't sleep. We released our new video for Before You're Forgiven. I know I've released this video or song a few times. I'm really sorry that I've done it so many times, but it never comes out right. It's one of those songs that just never comes out right on tape. And once you record it, you're just never happy with it. So the latest one is probably the best one I could do. And yeah. So tomorrow I'm hoping to do a special episode on Cop City, because I'm really surprised at the amount of people that don't know what Cop City is. Now, for a brief little summation, just a little brief summary of it is basically Atlanta is allowing, I mean, they're not allowing, the citizens aren't allowing, but the state, Georgia is forcing Atlanta to force their citizens to basically live in a mock war zone. I mean, they're trying to say that they're making it a training center for police, but what the fuck do you need a mock city for? They're literally building a mock city. So there's supposed to be a dance club, just like a whole city block of stuff. And it's sad enough that they had put gun ranges on the poorest areas to sell land a while back, a long time ago. But these kids that live in Atlanta have to go to bed to the sounds of gunfire. I mean, the fact that they have to hear that in a city alone is enough to put some vinegar and piss in your blood, but too much will make you crazy. You know, it's like, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but it also really fucks you up. And it seems to be the common trope that people just miss out on. Like, no, that if what doesn't kill you, sure, it does make you stronger, but it also mentally fucks you up, and it'll make you more cynical. It'll make you more pessimistic. It'll make you more. It doesn't matter. It changes you. You know, trauma changes us. That's what it does. That's why it's trauma. So I'm gonna take it. So recently, I just got in a big fight with a bunch of people online. I know it's kind of affecting the videos. I don't really care. I know who watches the show and who doesn't. And I know the people that do watch the show are the people that I want to watch the show. So when people say your show is not very popular, I said, well, neither was Lenny Bruce, neither was Bill Hicks, neither was. Um, a good example was I put out. I could say, neither was Freaks and Geeks, neither was Undeclared, neither was, a bunch of shit that could have been great um, that nobody noticed. Edgar Allan Poe was not a famous writer. He was a drunk that died in a goddamn subway station because he was a drunken poet. That's why they say, you go out and get drunk like a poet on payday. Well, it's a reference back to those times. And Edgar Allan Poe would sell writings just for some fucking booze money, and he ended up dying, sad and alone. And his writings were found later, and then his little stint of popularity was nothing compared to the overall change that he made in writing in general, and started a whole different style of people, let alone writing. But there are a lot of people that are obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe. There are people that think they are Edgar Allan Poe. There are people that literally base their lives on what that, the what would Jesus do, but it will have, Edgar Allan Poe. And that kind of fandom is, whether it's posthumous or not, it's still somebody got reached. And I think that's all that matters when you're doing something that you love to do. Now, I pointed out that there are so many idiots that will go on and pretend to be experts on shit. And I noticed those are the most unpopular videos that I make because nobody wants to be told what to think. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you that these fuckers are telling you what to think. But whatever. So today's topic is on Green Day and Blink-182. Now, Blink-182 finally came out with their newest single, and it's One More Time is more than just a single. It's a fucking a great way to say that we have not lost a single step if we're together and we're doing the best we can together. Now, I'll play a brief stint of it because I fucking love the song, but I have to play it on another set so that way I can't get in trouble for copyright. So we'll probably play that at the end of the show. But another thing is that along with Blink, I don't even like to say 182 because Blink is Blink. Excuse me. Fans do not need to be told the number because the actual band name was supposed to just be Blink. And because of the fact that some douchebag band out there, some douchebag owner of that name, refused to give it to the band, it's just a sign of just sad, pathetic, grasping onto whatever. If somebody completely outsells you and they're doing so much better with the name that you chose, you give them the name because, hey, you know what? That was our name, but you can make money off of it. You could sell it and you'll make more money than you ever did in your career, because I still don't know who the fuck Blink is, other than Blink-182. And they should have never had to put that number in there. They should just, whoever owned the name Blink, just punch him square in the face and give him a burrito from Sombrero. So, as you notice, it says Blink-182 and Green Day. So, obviously, if you're not a fan of these bands, you probably won't really know what the hell I'm talking about. So, Blink came from California thanks to Green Day. Green Day was the epitome. Excuse me. Well, not epitome, but they were like the prodigal sons of the East Bay punk scene. And Green Day had basically lived together. To see them together now, after all the years they've been together, is just, it's a testament to who they are as people, that they just love each other. And that's what I always saw in Blink. And it was sad to see them hate each other and all that stuff because if you guys remember the early 2000s, Tom decided to make a social experiment, which was a idea to take a band that had never been in a big show, never done anything before, and let's take this band and shove them to the top and see how they handle the success of it without the actual earning of that spot, where you're used to playing in front of small crowds, then bigger crowds, then bigger crowds. I've played festivals that have scared the shit out of me, and yeah, I probably choked. I was young. But I've also played shows where I couldn't see the back. I couldn't see the door. There were so many fucking people. I'm not saying they were here for me. I'm saying that they were there. And my job is to get those people as a singer, as an entertainer, and as a frontman. My job is to get those people to turn this way and say, wow, that's your job. And I did anything I could for that, in certain places where I didn't belong, or at least I felt I didn't belong. I'd smash my head with a brick because the band was more hardcore than me. So there's a lot of steps you take. So this was a social experiment done by Tom DeLonge, and it shows you he's always been a genius. But what this did was this created a DVD called Riding in Vans with Boys, and it was amazing. At the time, there was a movie with Drew Barrymore called Riding in Cars with Boys, I think. But this was absolutely amazing. Tom has a thing about making fun of movies of that year, which nobody ever gets later on. Enema of the State was a joke on the movie with Will Smith, Enemy of the State, which was in theaters at the time, but nobody remembers the fucking movie, so nobody knows what the hell it means. Like kids today don't know what it means. So Riding in Vans with Boys, same thing. So what it also did was put him at the top during the Pop Disaster tour with Green Day. Now, Green Day, I had never seen Green Day play for anyone else. I've always seen them end the show. So this was different. And I think, even though I was angry at it, because you can call it co-headliner all you want, but there's only one headliner. And so watch the amount of aggression that you're going to see right here. Look at the amount of aggression these guys show. Now, this is Green Day first. As we can see, there's a big old bottle of what looks like cognac or something over there, or bourbon, and possibly whiskey. And so, yeah, check it out. It's just the amount of energy at these shows was unlike anything. So you got bands like Jimmy World, you have Green Day, you have Blink, you have so much fun punk rock shit that's just going on at this time, and it was such an incredible tour. Wondering if Cut You Up even was, but didn't matter.
Dude, those guys are hanging. Dude, those dudes are hanging from up there. Balls hurt, dude. Being up here.
Now, these are the guys that get to go with the band, and these are the band is called Cut You Up. They broke up. They never forgot this experience, but it showed that some bands are not meant for this. And so, as we saw, these guys.
Look at gonna say hi to the last remaining few kids that have been here for like 10 hours. I don't know. It might be a full up. They're all Mark. Where's Mark? Tom!
This is why he's the greatest, and this is why we love these bands so much, and this is what the difference is between, in my opinion, between rock and pop. You would never see a Taylor Swift do something like this.
Because I'm married.
Oh my god, could you sign her? Yeah, he is a rock star. Oh my god.
You are tall. Holy crap.
Just one more hug, please. I'm an
No more hugs. He's just scaring me.
Sleep. I can't promise you sleep. I drove from 5 to 6. No, 5 to 7 last night.
It was gnarly last night.
See, all right. So as Tom brought these kids along, they had a great time. They did pretty well for themselves when they could, but then they started missing. They started missing shows. There's always one guy more serious than the other. There's always one guy in your band that has the least amount of motivation, inspiration, creativity. There's always the weak link in that band that doesn't take it as seriously as you do, and doesn't take it as passionately as you do. And then there's always someone in the band that really, really does, and you connect with that person. Now, I think this is where you started to see little fragments of the band destroy itself. And it was just really sad to see that, that type of fandom, that type of fame is insane, and you cannot just have it and know what to do with it. And so before Tom was doing Into the Stars, he was doing that. And it just shows that Tom has always been searching for something. And so, yeah, you know what? Let's play the song. And I think that's a good time to play the song, because as we listen to the words, we're listening to them kind of talking to each other in a really profound way. I think they are talking to each other. Actually, like this.
Strangers, from strangers into brothers, from brothers into strangers once again. We saw the whole world, but I couldn't see the meaning. I couldn't even recognize my friends.
Now, we understand why he's saying this. As I stated, there are a lot of issues.
Older, but nothing's any different. Right now feels the same, I wonder why. I wish they told us it shouldn't take a sickness or airplanes falling out the sky. Do I have to die to hear you miss me? Do I have to die to hear you say goodbye? I don't wanna act like there's tomorrow. I don't wanna wait to do this one more time. One more time. One more.
Now, obviously, they're talking about the distance that's in between them from when he says it shouldn't take a sickness. Now, Mark hit that cancer scare pretty well. A lot of us had no clue he was sick. I tend to notice a bloating of the face, like we saw with Norm Macdonald before he died, and we saw with Bill Hicks before he died. There's a lot of bloating that I start seeing, and if I see it, I usually used to attribute it to drinking, and we saw that with guys like like Matthew Perry, guy gets famous, and towards the end of if you watch Friends, I didn't, but I just watched as they got older. I'm just like, damn, that dude's fucking head is huge. Well, that's what liquor will do to you if you keep drinking every day. So, the airplanes falling from the sky, we all know that's obviously from Travis Barker, got in the orbital plane crash. That was fucking terrifying. I remember thinking that this is the last person this should happen to. Travis is one of those quiet but lovable guys. It's amazing how you can get such a good, clean idea of who these people are as just a fan. So another way I can show you is if you'd ever seen the original, well, the first ever video they did. Oh crap, I forgot to save it. All right, whatever. Well, the first video they did was called the Urethra Chronicles. And the Urethra Chronicles was a VHS that was fucking hilarious. And yeah, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and put it up on the screen. Now, this is actually how I got into Blink. My friend was dating... it wasn't from this movie, but this is Urethra Chronicles right here. It's just it's another just kind of videotape of them experiencing fame from their angle. And you really start to see the brotherhood in them. Like, you really see the brotherhood in them. And Travis, at this time, was kind of the new guy. But, at this point, he's been with the band for about a year. And so, the relationship had obviously grown stronger for them. And Travis is a fucking, again, as a quiet guy that he is, he's a fucking daredevil. Because anybody that puts tattoos all over them on purpose so you can't get a job is somebody that sticks to their fucking convictions. Like, that's somebody that I would trust. If they told me something, I would believe it. If they told me, they did or saw something, I'd believe them, because there's no reason for that kind of personality to have a lie. They wouldn't benefit from it. So the Urethra Chronicles was a little tape. And so my friend's big brother, his girlfriend, brought over some tape of Blink's stuff from before Enema of the State. See, I'm doing it now. And so the Urethra Chronicles is kind of like a lot of it shows you before Enema of the State was even made or even created yet. It wasn't. It was probably recorded, but they hadn't named it yet. So you actually get to hear the reference come to life, and that's what I thought was hilarious. Is you get to see the reference actually come to life when he says, "Maybe we'll just call it like the Enema of the State," and then he laughs, and right there, that's how that name came in. And so I actually still have it underneath this thing. I have the old Slipknot tape. Back in the old days, bands brought tapes. And so if you wanted to see the band, you couldn't just watch YouTube. So you went out and you bought their little tapes that they'd have, these VHS tapes, and you put it in your VCR and you'd watch it and be like, oh, this band's fucking awesome. Now we realize the sound was terrible and it would warp after, like a week. But it wasn't about that. It was about learning who the band was as people, and for some reason that has always mattered to me. So with Green Day, they have on the 29th, Green Day's got the Dookie 30-year anniversary finally coming out. And that is fucking awesome. That was the first band I ever fell in love with. And what's interesting is that they're putting out a lot of the they're putting out a lot of the demo tracks and the lost songs that never made it on there, and just, you know, demo versions. And there's a lot of demos. And what sucks is we deserved this 20 years ago. You know, we deserved this 30 years ago. Damn it, I blame Rob Cavallo. You could have just thrown all that shit on an import, because every import I used to buy, I was always looking for these types of songs. So what we're going to hear right now is Green Day doing a rendition of Basket Case before Basket Case. There's that classic.
Leaving all us drunks behind. Swept up in cold love. They make it kinda rough, but they don't really mind. They're on their own.
So, what it's pretty obvious that it's a demo version of Basket Case before Basket Case. And so what happens is, a lot of times when we first create a riff and we have the melody, it does not matter what the words are. We need to remember the melody. So we will slap words on it. So obviously this song was going to be more of a Welcome to Paradise kind of feel, and it was definitely going to be a song that was kind of reminding me of the Ballad of Willem Fink. Ballad of Willem Fink says it really talks about underage drinking a lot. A lot of their songs were about getting drunk or getting stoned, and that's what kids do. And at least the cool ones and the fun ones. So we're hearing a song about pretty much the East Bay scene and how they work. They don't care that they're broke. They don't care. They don't care that the best people they are. So it's always this. I don't know. Green Day always had this kind of take my hand and let's just get the fuck out of here. You know, that's who I always saw Green Day as, was the band that was saying, you know, hey, all of us, let's fucking go. You know, and that's literally what they did with their lives. And that's why they're so fucking important, because you can find little Green Day references within Blink all the time. Even from if you watch the video for One More Time, I did not want to play the video because of copyright and all that shit. So it's just a really powerful song, and it literally made me want to call my friends and just tell them that I love them. It's one of those kind of things that gets you nostalgic, I guess. But I've lost a lot of friends, and it just sucks. And when you get to 35, 34, you start noticing what's behind you. And when I look behind me, I wish I saw smiles, but I see coffin. You know, I see death. And it's sad because a lot of those friends that I love to death I literally had to love them to death, and it sucks because you say that because you don't want it to happen, but even just a couple of years ago, I went over to my friend Leb's, and we we had a man date. I had to go hang out. I went over to his house, which is, you know, in the outskirt of the city. I went out there to go chill with him. You know, I had my little joint ready, and he never comes down. And, you know, I find out, you know, he died. And so it's just, when you listen to songs like One More Time, you know how valuable your friendships are. I don't want anybody to lose a friend or a family member ever. but it's going to happen. And when it does, you want to be semi-prepared for it. And the last thing you want to do is distance yourself from them because you're afraid to feel when they die, or if they die, or the thought of them dying. All of that is just sad, but it's very true. And so the final thing I want to show you guys before we go is the just again the amount of it still follows on the same shit. This is Green Day right now. It's always been about I think honestly Green Day is probably the most exhausting band I've ever heard.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go!
And I mean that the best possible. So it's a testament to just how they are, and so it's always about just great energy and having a great time, just getting the fuck out, and figuratively and literally. So what's important is that you have that that motivation, something within your life that's actually going to want to push you and say, get the fuck out of here, go do something, and that's what pop punk always did for me. I don't know, call it pop punk, call it whatever the fuck you want, I really don't care. But bands like that whole just take my hand, let's go, and that I love that idea, and so Green Day and Blink are like a symbolism of young love and young rage, and that's why it's so awesome, and that's really the commonality between them, and it's just really fun music, and I'm just happy as fuck to see them back, so that's great. So that's all the time I got for today, so make sure you tell your friends you love them and all that fun stuff, and don't take people for granted because it sucks. All right. Love you guys. Stay safe. Stay yourselves. Try to stay cool. It's fucking hot out. And see you on the other side. Stay cheesy, my friends.
Some people are really fucking stupid. Did you ever notice that? How many really stupid people you run into during the day? God damn, there's a lot of stupid bastards walking around. Carry a little pad and pencil with you. You wind up with 30 or 40 names by the end of the day.
Adjectives on the typewriter. He moves his words like a prize fighter. The frenzied pace of
Look at it this way. Think of how stupid the average person is, and then